You won't believe what I'm about to share. It sounds like I'm recapping a blockbuster thriller, but no, this is real. Not by headline reports or sensational news segments, but by every nail-biting moment I lived through. It all began after my divorce, breakdown disguised as a fresh start. I'm Chase Elliott, 42, an electrician with just enough money to feel steady, living in California, finally off the emotional merry-go-round. I wasn't waking in night sweats anymore. I could breathe, think, maybe hope. Then, mail started vanishing. Mail that mattered. Not the weekly pizza flyers or political ads. No, the stuff with talent to change everything. A renewed passport, job interview letters, critical medical results. Mail that vanished into thin air, like someone had a personal vendetta against anything that could rebuild my life. First, the passport. 3 days before my sister's wedding in Hawaii, the reunion I'd dreamed of since my marriage shattered, I went to check my mailbox. My renewal documents were gone. The mailbox looked untouched, no sign of forced entry. I stared at it like it owed me answers. I called the postal service. They confirmed delivery 2 days earlier. That meant, reminder, 1,100 non-refundable emotional devastation later. The trip was over. Then I lost a job opportunity. A senior electrical supervisor role, $80K benefits, a company truck. I waited for the interview letter, obsessively checking my mailbox. Nothing. I called HR. They'd mailed it on time, and because I didn't respond, they gave the position to someone else. My career halted because someone was intercepting my mail. This wasn't random petty theft. It was systematic sabotage. And then came the worst blow. My health. I'd been having chest pains, so I underwent the full cardiac screening. Weeks later, no results. My doctor's office swore they mailed them. I didn't get them. My anxiety grew, literally worsening my heart symptoms because I was trapped in uncertainty. Junk mail showed up every time. Coupons, ads, political flyers. But anything important? Gone. Someone was selectively stealing the exact documents that could enhance or protect my life. I felt violated, powerless. I snapped, I am a trained electrician. I installed a basic security camera aimed at the mailbox cluster, weatherproof, motion detection, live alerts to my phone. Neighbors watched me install it. Didn't know what was at stake. But I did. The footage came one morning at 6:15 a.m. My heart pounded. I jiggled my coffee and my phone, opened the live feed. There she was. Betty Walsh, 68, sweet as baked cookies, HOA neighbor, waving from her window. Seeing her at my mailbox felt impossible. But there she was, rifling through it like she was looking for a Rubik's Cube solution. I confronted her mid-speed walk. She turned, shock rippling across her face. She began crying. Real tears. Turns out she'd been accidentally collecting mail addressed to her late husband, David Walsh. We live at 274 Oak Street. She was at 247. In the morning blur without glasses, she'd been grabbing any thick envelope, some of which were mine. Cake labeled tragedy. The relief should have been total. But as she apologetically sorted the mail, including my important letters, I realized something darker. She'd seen someone else. A tall figure, confident, deliberate, with keys. Every early morning. Someone whose clocks matched the post's drop-off, moving easily through the cluster. Betty had assumed it was official. Maintenance, postal. But her description triggered my electrician's pattern recognition brain. Organized precision. This was deliberate. My ex-husband Marcus was eliminated. He works nights with an alibi. That left someone with structural authority. Someone who could enter the cluster without suspicion. Someone like Lauren Clark, our HOA president, respected for 10 years, used to community access. She'd been showing suspicious interest in my mail security concerns. I upgraded the footage, night vision, motion sensors. One early morning, The figure appeared again, dressed in black from head to toe, moving like a ninja. Precise, calm key opens the mailbox on first try. No hesitation. Then the wind flipped the hood. A glimpse of her face. It was Lauren, my trusted neighbor, community leader, stealing mail under darkness disguised by intimidation. A blend of betrayal and revulsion filled me. I confronted her during her usual jog. I tried calm. She played it off, still defiant, layering in her official HOA tone. She insisted she had right to investigate suspicious behavior. I seethed. Standing there, I noticed she had a fanny pack packed with organized files, definitely not random mail. This was surveillance. She'd been collecting files, blackmail files, neighbors' vulnerabilities, everything from estate papers to credit info, cross-referenced, weaponized. Frank, the retired postal worker, confirmed it all. Detailed logs, home schedules, visitor patterns, mail origins. I read the file on me. It was horrifying. She'd been preparing for this, likely part of a scheme with developers to force people out. Then it clicked. Hidden in her HOA filing cabinet, Frank found correspondence with Victor Hayes Properties, a developer. Lauren would get $50,000 commission for delivering 80% of residents into selling within 18 months, bonuses for under-market sales. She was a local operative, part of a predatory scheme. She'd been stealing mail, building dossiers, creating pressure thinkers, exploiting vulnerabilities, preying on vulnerable neighbors, shaping motivated seller crises. I realized I was just one target among many she'd groomed for collapse. Action required. The feds would take months. Me? I had electrician tools, ingenuity, and witnesses. Frank provided support. I built a trap, 12-volt surprise, motion-activated, legal property, but aimed to deliver one unforgettable jolt. Documented. Safe, but shocking. I wasn't trying to harm her, I wanted evidence. On deployment day, at 5:47 a.m., she appeared. Gloved hands, HOA master key, confident upright posture. She was in her element. As she touched the mailbox, the trap triggered. You could see in the video. Her body jerks, eyes go wide, a yelp crackles out. That's when my spring trap released mass mail. Inheritance notices, Betty's papers, blackmail files, exploding what she'd been hiding into full view. Neighbors poured out. Frank, calm and commanding, pointed at the evidence. Lauren tried to spin it, claiming I created a booby trap and she was investigating suspicious electrical modifications. Some neighbors wavered. Her credibility had decades on her side. But footage was undeniable. But Lauren's maneuvered half the neighbors into fearing me and praising her for saving them. Villain and hero had blurred. That night, I got a certified letter under my door from her, accusing me of tax evasion and threatening public exposure if I didn't cooperate or sell. I stared at the letter. Fear flared again. She had everything, my finances, my vulnerabilities, and she was double-dipping, extorting me after criminally violating me. The pattern had gone deeper. This was psychological warfare, power abuse, and corporate exploitation stitched together. But weeks of preparation paid off. At the emergency HOA meeting, I struck first, with solid evidence. I'd installed legal cameras while doing electrician jobs all around the neighborhood. Recording devices captured meetings between Lauren and Victor's reps. Her voice described intelligence gathering, targeting vulnerable homeowners. The audio and video cut through the room like beam lights. People went cold. Frank presented postal crime laws and her dossiers. Lauren went ballistic, claiming I was unstable, hiding inheritance, attacking HOA leadership, dangerous electrical devices. But I stood up, showed clean tax documents, licenses, testimonials. The contrast was plain. Criminal intelligence brokerage versus a homeowner fighting invasion. The vote was decisive. She's out. banned from leadership. Only a few stray comments of sympathy remained from front porch loyalists. As she stormed out, she tripped into the cookie table, dunked in punch, face first. The moment was poetic justice. Betty had been live streaming. The internet exploded. Viral Karma delivered her fall with crispy detail, proof of what happens when you lose community trust and abuse power. 6 months later, as newly elected HOA president, I watch our street mend. Neighbors rebuild trust under transparent leadership. Lauren still lives here, but without influence. Victor moved on. He lost his local asset. But at night, I wonder, is this crisis over, or just one part of a bigger pattern across the region? If this story hits you in that spot where justice tastes sweet and rotten authority fears exposure, leave your comment. Where are you watching this from? Because truth like this deserves to travel far. And to anyone who feels powerless fighting local corruption, you aren't. Sometimes all you need is a camera, a neighbor who knows, and the courage to pull the switch. If this ride made you feel cathartic, hit that like button. Your support keeps the karma train rolling. I'll see you in the next story. Because, let's be honest, when authorities abuse power, revenge has the right to the mic. Thanks for being here.